Frank Strada, a Deputy Director of the Arizona Department of Corrections, Rehabilitation and Recovery. Please hold your questions until both gentlemen have spoken. If you have a question, please state your name and the name of the media outlet. We will allow a 20-minute question and answer period at the end of the session. This is a fluid situation, and things are constantly changing. We ask that you please be aware of that. Colonel Silbert.
Thank you, Captain Rogers. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being back with us. As Captain Rogers said, the situation is fluid. We still have a significant fugitive apprehension effort and manhunt going on. The efforts are concentrated in multiple different areas. As was stated yesterday, we're still looking at the area immediately surrounding the prison and within a few square miles. I should not say a few square miles, but in several miles outside of the prison. Those efforts will continue. One of our hopes is letting the community know that we do have some concerns that they are in fact still in the area. One of the reasons is there's a significant reward for both of these subjects. There's a $35,000 reward for each subject, a total of $70,000 reward for both of these subjects. If anybody has information about these subjects and their whereabouts, please call Silent Witness. The number will pop up behind you. The chief area of concern is this: being that we haven't received a great deal of information about the subjects at this time, that they could be holed up someplace. If you as a resident in the area of the prison have noticed a neighbor hasn't been around, or if you've noticed a coworker hasn't come to work for a period of time, and it's something that's out of the norm, we would ask you to please call. We're doing house-to-house searches at this time, so if the police come to your door, you can feel free to ask them for identification. They are not trying to infringe on anyone's privacy. They're trying to ensure the community's safety. So we're doing a door-to-door search. We've already done multiple searches such as that from yesterday to today, but those efforts are going to intensify today. Roadblocks will remain. People who live in the area will still see a continued intensified effort of marked law enforcement in the area, but we need your help in the capture of both of these subjects. We do have information that at least one of the subjects, Harmon, has some connections to Mexico, and we're exploring those avenues as well. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Deputy Director Frank Strada.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Colonel Silbert. ADCRR remains committed to doing everything in its power with its resources to apprehend and find these fugitives. I'd like to reiterate what the Colonel said, and we ask everybody to be vigilant, be aware of your neighbors, be aware of your surroundings. If you see something, say something, use extreme caution. Please do not approach these individuals on your own. Use 911, call Silent Witness, but any help that can be provided is greatly appreciated. We've been working closely with the Arizona Department of Public Safety, Pinal County Sheriffs, Florence PD, United States Marshals, and we're grateful for the partnership that we have with the other law enforcement agencies in trying to apprehend these two fugitives. It's our mission to just find these guys, and we're not going to rest until we get these two gentlemen back into custody. So I just want to reiterate, our goal is the safety of the public, the safety of our institutions, and we will continue to utilize all our current resources and our commitment with our other law enforcement partners to try to capture and bring back these two fugitives. Thank you.
Question? Hi, my name is Nicole Valdez. I'm with ABC. This question is for either one of you. At this point, how concerned are you that they escaped Saturday, here we are Monday, and so far, unfortunately, your efforts have not been successful to find either one of these two gentlemen? Are you worried that they could be dangerous and threatening someone's life at this point? I mean, how concerned are you at this point, how long it's been?
Ma'am, I would tell you that's been our chief concern the entire time. We want to capture them and apprehend them, but the key is we want to keep the community safe. They've already shown and demonstrated that they'll commit a violent act while they've escaped. So that's a genuine concern of ours, and we are concerned about the community. As far as we're concerned, they're both dangerous felons and on the run. I do want to state to everybody that I did in the first part of the statement. We have multiple law enforcement agencies involved in this effort. We have the Pinal County Sheriff's Department, in addition to the Department of Corrections and DPS, Pinal County Sheriff's Department, Florence Police Department, Salt River Police Department, the United States Marshal's Office. Right now, as we speak, there are deputies, there's officers, and there's state troopers in this weather that we all experienced coming in here on foot, out in the desert, going house to house, searching. So I applaud the efforts of each agency involved in this and the commitment of the men and women who are out in the field trying to apprehend this suspect. Thank you for your question.
Director Strada, Curtis over 3 TV and CBS 5. What do we know now about how these two were able to escape without being noticed? Was this a technology failure or a staff failure?
Well, that's currently still under an internal investigation. As I stated yesterday, we'll do a thorough investigation of our procedures. If there was failures, what could have been done differently and how it could have been prevented. So that's still currently under investigation. We are looking at every aspect of where they were, how they got out, and what led to that.
Were these tools properly locked away so that inmates wouldn't get access?
They were locked in a tool room. As I stated yesterday, however, the two inmates did knock over a wall unit, air conditioning unit, which is how they gained access to the tool room. But again, all of that will be looked at through the internal investigation.
I know a big concern is if they had help either inside or outside. Is there any indication of that yet?
Not to my knowledge, but if anything is on the investigation, I'm not sure at this point that would be revealed as to what knowledge we have. We're working closely with our other law enforcement partners, and when we receive information, we act on it.
Is there any indication that they had an irregular communication leading up to their escape, like their phones, calling family members?
Our investigative unit at Florence looked at all their phone and mail records, as well as their video visiting, and there was nothing to indicate that they had any contact in that manner. But again, that's still under investigation, and everything will be looked at. There's a lot of data to look at.
It's my understanding that there's also video surveillance right outside where the fencing ends. Is that the case?
Can you clarify that question?
That there is video surveillance right outside of the fenced area?
So part of our internal investigation will be to review all camera footage internally and externally and use that in the investigation.
So there is?
There is cameras throughout the institution.
Last question.
Colonel Silver, could you provide any more information about, do you believe that they're within miles of the complex? You said one of them has connection to Mexico. What do we know about how far they may have gotten?
Ma'am, it's difficult to say. We look for every indication we possibly can that would lead us in one direction or the other. At this point, we're in this in-between state. We can't say if they're out of the perimeter. We can't say that they're in the perimeter. So we really have to exercise strategies to attack both angles of the search. I would tell you there are points in which, in an investigation such as this, once they escape, that will take us from what would be an on-the-ground, door-to-door search, if you will, such as that which is taking place now, to what would become what we would call a fugitive apprehension effort, where now we're starting to broaden it and we're looking at where did they go outside of the perimeter. At this time, I can't speak to that. I can't tell you if they're within, they're outside of it. We obviously get concerned when we hear there's connections to Mexico and the possibility of going into Mexico. The United States Marshal Service does have strong relationships there and can make efforts if the person's from the United States to get them back. But that becomes a concern to us as well. So we really have to be balanced in our effort, and in our attempt to try and get them. Another thing I would add is, bear in mind, we're looking at pictures of these subjects as they appeared when they escaped. They may not look like that anymore. This subject, Charpiot, may have shaved his beard. They've certainly got different clothing by now. They are not running around in their orange corrections uniforms. So that's something else to keep in mind. People and citizens look at people not just as they look in the picture, what they may look like. We're willing to listen to anything. We want to get them in custody. Thank you for your question, ma'am.
Thank you all.